My heart's torn in pieces. It's my offering. Lay me at the throne. Leave me there alone to gaze upon your glory and sing to you this song. Please take me to the King. Truth is, it's time to stop playing these games.
Yeah.
Man.
We need a word
Hey, so let me,
for the people's
because it
pain.
was private. So, man, we need you there. So it was good. What happened was 6 of the 7 of us drank water. My wife was on not as because he did the chocolate coalition back in the day. It's been 38 years since it came back around. That's what we were. 38 years. So we're looking at January. So it was Don was the mayor. So we sat down, me and Anthony, we laid it out, and said basically the next time we're going to do a think tank just like the mayor did with all the African American businesses. Share with us. Have a conversation. Have that. On the other side, we're going to have a think tank with the same people come together, bring 1 or 2 referrals of people that they want to businesses. They're going to vouch for minorities, black and brown. So basically, the people that's on our team, I mean, the people that are ready, that we can each vouch for, one, 5 to 10 people. That's what we're probably working on. We're doing interviews with them. We're going to do a proposal to kind of have, I've already interviewed like maybe 3 or 4 people to try to get some type of pipeline, man, to start the process. And work out the kinks. So talk to the talk to the people getting loans. They already talked to Providence Bank. They was like, cool.
Because I got a brother, man, that started a business. He couldn't pay his workers, man. I want to bring him.
Basically.
He started a cleaning business. Got out there and got those new apartments. But he couldn't pay them until he got paid. His employees got disenchanted. Didn't do the work. He's off the contract.
So what he needed was
Just a
temporary staff.
Just a line of credit.
He had
to pay.
Right.
Wasn't that much, 15 grand.
So he needs somebody to vouch for him, basically, to back him, so he can do that. Or to
Young brother too, got out of penitentiary. Couldn't find no job, he started.
Yes, you're listening to 89.5 FM Missouri Source for in-depth news, diverse talk, and music of the world. It's not just radio, it's community radio. That was a beautiful song. So that's my brother Lorenzo right here, man.
Yes, sir.
It's a good dude, good people, for real.
Love you, man.
Love you too, man. Hey, have a what's your sermon on, man? Oh, you got to show up.
Yeah. I got 3 in the cooker. I don't know which one you can order.
Hey, I'll be doing it like that too.
All right, man. You get a chance, stop by though.
Hey, if it's at 3 o'clock, man, I might definitely do that.
All right.
Definitely. Blessings. Hey, it's always good to have an abundance of the word, for real. So hope each and every one of you are having a beautiful afternoon and evening. This is your host from 2 to 6. This is Tyree Byndom for the Soul Fitness Block, is what I call it. And appreciate each one of you listening in, so being a soul supporter of myself and my mom and just the show. This is a gift to my legacy. So to be able to serve in this capacity is sometimes just mind-boggling. It's deep. And so, but you are listening to Core Issues, collectively organized to reach everyone. Issues, yes, I got many issues, and definitely I talk about them in front of God and country. So I definitely try to do my best to process, and so that we can share and have a live refining of consultation which is really getting our hearts and minds aligned with the Spirit, and letting that Spirit speak through some type of collectivity of understanding. And so Core Issues happens to serve in that capacity for us. So it's a beautiful thing. Feel free to call in. The number is 443-8255-443-TALK. Feel free to call in and participate. I'm about to log in right now to my Facebook page. But also, there's quite a few things that's going on in the community. And today's topic is one that when we talk about the different changes and chances and the incidents and accidents and the things in life that we deal with, there's so many things that we deal with that at some point, it's a way that we process life, and sometimes we get to the point where we can't. I mean, where it's so tough that it kind of breaks us down. Where we basically are stuck. And it happens. And so, I'm actually trying to pull up my little thing right here. And so that's just part of the process. So today's topic is anxiety. Anxiety. The inner tremble versus inner peace. Anxiety. And so core issues go with three waves. There's the first wave is the facts and statistics. The second wave is personal experience. And the third wave is the Word of God on whatever the topic is at the time. And so this is one where there's been a lot of conversations that have happened on Facebook, and just a lot of people that I've talked to and discussed throughout the week. And there was quite a few people who mentioned that just openly, that this is something that I deal with. This is something that I deal with, and I take pills for this, or I take medicine for anxiety. And I've had quite a few friends that have had it, but also just for me, just totally be honest with you guys. Last week, I had an anxiety attack. Yeah, I did. So anxiety the definition is distress or uneasiness of mind caused by fear of danger or misfortune. So the exact phrase is, he felt anxiety about the possible loss of his job, ultimately. Number 2 is earnest but tense desire, eagerness. The sentence is, he had a keen anxiety to succeed in his work. And then the third one is, under the psychiatry, is a state of apprehension and psychic tension occurring in some forms of mental disorder. So a state of apprehension and psychic tension. And the word is old, so from 1515 to 1525. Anxious. Anxiety. So that's it. So when we feel this, I asked the question, when do you feel anxiety? And people was like, comments like easy, when you get easy money, guns, stress, dealing with other people, being in small spaces, confrontation. So you tell me, what are some of the biggest forms of anxiety that you deal with or have dealt with? The number to call in is 573-443-8255. For me, my anxiety attack, it was a process that I was in, and for me, I said, when I first started this process, I was like, the biggest thing that gives me anxiety at this point in time in my life, is conformity. And so your answer to the question is going to tell you a lot about your fears, a lot about your process, a lot about where you are in life, what stage you are in. So that's going to be different at different times. Different, as a teenager, different as a young adult, probably different as an older adult, probably different as an elder, and probably different as an ancient, when you up there. So it's just it's a process. So for me, it was conformity, but it's very important for me at this time to have a balance, but also to follow my heart, and sometimes to follow your heart and to really attempt to do what you're passionate about, and to not necessarily take a chance, but to invest in a path that you might not have traveled before, that you might not have a whole bunch of concrete examples, because it's something that's new, it's unique, and I would say to the point of walking in destiny, getting to that point where, how many of us know, we all ask ourselves that question, what's my life, what's my destiny, what's my purpose, what am I supposed to accomplish, what am I passionate about? I hope we ask ourselves these questions. What do I want to do? What am I good at? What can I make money doing? That makes me happy. Just talking to ourselves. It don't have to have fluff. But you have to be able to ask yourselves those questions. And, interesting, when we ask ourselves a question, sometimes we have the answer, but most of the time we don't. But we expect an answer. Think about it. If we didn't expect some form of answer when we ask ourselves a question, seems like at some point we would stop asking ourselves questions. Let me repeat that. It seems like when we ask ourselves questions, when we ask ourselves a question, it seems like at some point we would stop asking ourselves questions if we weren't sure that we would get an answer. So for me, based on my code, on my walk, based on the calendar that I go by, the Badi calendar. I'm a member of the Baha'i faith. So it's a calendar of 19 months and 19 days apiece. And so this is the month of questions. So it's very interesting, that parallel. That one of the gifts, the people that, when you think about it in your life, the people that really affect us the most are the ones that ask us the right questions, not to give us the answers. The ones who know, they already got the answers. But the beauty is on seeing us figure it out, and being patient enough and loving enough, and cautious enough to let us to trust that the universe is going to provide it, the Creator is going to provide it, the environments are going to provide it, life is going to provide the answer for the person who asked the question. Even if it's with, mentors or with someone else. So it's just, so we ask ourselves this question. And the thing about it is, the answer comes from the same mind that asked the question. But there's something else that's there. There's another thing that makes us special as human beings. Some people consciously are in tune with that, some people are not. I'm not saying that there's anything about that that's bad. But there's a lot of things that are unknown that comes to our conscious mind, and now we're aware of it. And once we're aware of it, we can consciously practice it, and not only that, become proficient in it, and even get to a point, at some point, where you can share that information and knowledge with others, and then even get to the point where you can do it in a way that's selfless, and you're disseminating
knowledge and virtue to others because it's not our possession. And that's the spirit. You know, we are souls. So anxiety, worry, angst, unease, there's a blessing to it. It's a sign. Emotions. I mean, it's a sign to ultimately let us know that, hey, you're not happy. And something is happening that's not making you happy and joyful. Something is affecting you. You know, anxiety attacks are normally ding, 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 ding. Guess what? Something is off, and you know, we need to have a conversation. We need to talk. We need to talk this through. Your heart basically is saying, hey, guess what? I'm hungry. You know, your heart is basically saying, hey, guess what? I'm hungry, and what does that mean? What does that mean the heart is hungry? That means that I work best when you are in tune, when you are centered, when you're balanced, when you are healthy, when you are right, when you're happy, when you're joyful, when you're excited, when you have anxiety. So picture anxiety as a rainbow. All right? And on one side of the rainbow, you see the colors that are really bright and vibrant, and the sun is right there and it's shining. But at the bottom of the rainbow, it's kind of dim and you can't really see it that much, but it's still part of the rainbow. So imagine that the rainbow is anxiety. And on one end, you got the bright colors, and on one end, you got the dull, dark colors. But it's still the same. And so it's really, now we look at it, it's really our foundation. And it's, if we look at this virtue, which a lot of us see as a vice. So if we look at this virtue, and again, feel free to call in, 443-8255, 443-TALK. Is anxiety a virtue or a vice or emotion or a symptom? Or all of the above? Seriously. So ultimately, when we're talking about anxiety as the rainbow on both ends of the spectrum, and you look and see kind of, and you can measure it, and you can ask yourself, okay, what am I feeling and why? Why am I feeling this? Okay, and you identify what the source is, and you start doing a scientific investigation of yourself. Your anxiety starts to subside. Your anxiety, once you start asking yourselves the questions and getting further understanding the meaning, it starts to subside. Sometimes you can't do it all at the same time. It's a part of a process. You have to create a chill environment. You know, you have to take a time out. You have to stop. You have to go and take a break. You know, you have to, go and immerse yourself into nature. You know, go work out, take a bath, whatever you have to do. You know, there's many different exercises that you can do to relax and to chill and to not necessarily lose your eagerness and your desire, which is anxiety at this level way over here. But both places, even the anxiety that's ringing and really it changes your molecular structure because you're dealing with such an intense attack. You know, the main thing that we're here to study, the time that we are on Earth, no matter if we're talking about our degrees or our tradition, culture, ethnicity, heritage, all these things that we learn, just great. But ultimately, what we're studying is, and the only thing that we're going to get graded on is us, ourselves, and our life. And do you know yourself? Do you know who you are? Are you not in denial when it comes to your own existence in life? Are you facing the truth? Do you to thine own self be true? You know, the wise man is the man that does the things that he or she knows. Wisdom. You know, my mom, the prudence. You know, it's not necessarily doing the things that you know, but doing those things that are for the greater good that you know, especially when it comes to giving advice in that particular track. So it's just an interesting process. So anxiety is something that it's really the alarm. You know, I'll say it's the alarm that I know quite a few people, and it doesn't matter age, that deal with anxiety. Some people, you know, at the very bottom, it's butterflies, it's, you know, sparklers, it's a bit of excitement. You know, at the other side, it's way off, and at some points, it's very noble and powerful. And I shared it with the definitions to have both sides. So what we're gonna do is, I know that this is a week where record numbers of people. I mean, Columbia had a great story when it comes to Almeda Creighton's Everyone Eats, and I worked with her during this process this time, and kind of helped to do her PR, public relations stuff with a few different reporters and just some stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. So it was beautiful to be able to serve and witness and be a part. And the Douglas Park Neighborhood Association donated some turkeys, you know, so, you know, I feel it was good opportunity for the community to show up and show out, you know, show the world what we're made of. And, you know, the way that things happen nowadays, doesn't matter where you're at, you know, if you excel and if you're doing some good works and good deeds and good stuff, not only do you get the attention of the local community, you know, in that light, but also, you know, based on the purity of the deed and the acts that you're doing and the service, that you know that heaven is rejoicing. You know that the kingdom is rejoicing with those type of acts, because it's up to us all to process. And you know, rich man, poor man alike, it's going to deal with anxiety. It's going to deal with all of this. I mean, we're all made from the same substance, the same stock, you know? All of us are made from the same thing. So the time it is. We're going to take a quick break. I know that I have a few things that, actually, I can play whatever I want, so it's my choice. So we got a couple of different public service announcements. And just to let people know, you know, as a service to the community, KOPN reads announcements for nonprofit organizations. And if your organization would like to submit announcements, you may mail or hand deliver them to KOPN at 915 East Broadway, Columbia, Missouri 65201, or email them to kopn.org. More information is available at 573-874-1139. And did you know what happens after a cigarette butt gets flicked onto the ground? Basically, toxic chemicals in the filter leak into the aquatic ecosystems, threatening the water quality and many aquatic life forms. The filter is made from cellulose acetate, a form of plastic, and takes many years to decompose. Cigarette butts may seem small, but with several trillion of them littered every year, the toxic chemicals add up. Please don't use the world as your ashtray. Act responsibly. More information at www.cigarettelitter.org. I am so happy to be to not be smoking cigarettes anymore. Oh my goodness. And you're listening to 89.5 FM, a Missouri source for in-depth news, diverse talk, and music of the world. It's not just radio, it's community radio, KLP in Columbia. And also every weekday you have the opportunity to listen to Amy Goodman on Democracy Now! It's the War and Peace Report, provides its audience with new and different perspectives, and you can listen and hear at KLPN. And coming up next, we got Reggae Party coming up at the top of the hour. And I don't know who's going to be here, but they always do a great job playing your national roots rock reggae right here on 89.5 KLPN. And if you tuned out, you're listening to Core Issues with yours truly, your host Tyree Byndom, the Paladon. And it's just more of a chill day. It's more of a chill day. Really, after Thanksgiving, I know a lot of people are just really in a place of reflection, in a place of just after experiencing and seeing family, and you know, whether seeing family brings on, you know, anxiety, whether seeing family brings on stress, you know, dishes, and all the other stuff. But there's so many different things that comes with, you know, being able to be thankful, being able to have those times with family and friends and loved ones that just make it special. You know, it makes life worth living when legacies, when families come together to laugh, to break their fast together, to connect, and also to take a break. You know, to not necessarily talk about stuff, you know, but just to be in each other's presence and to watch a game together, or just to breathe the same air. You know, to have the kids, grandkids, and families meet each other and they bond. And so, you know, it's really, a lot of this comes down to the family unit. It really does. You know, a lot of this comes down to making sure that we have a strong, united family unit. And, you know, then when we look at the body of man, the body politic of humanity, and you look at us all as one connected being, one connected essence, then we get a good portrayal of what it is we deal with on a day-to-day, year-to-year basis as a species. Hey, what's up? Thank you for calling Core Issues. How you doing?
Well, to me, anxiety, when I heard the program was about anxiety, I was thinking in terms of like panic attacks, which I'm very grateful that I don't have them anymore. But I used to have terrible panic attacks that affected me to my breathing even.
Mm.
Things in my environment would trigger it, and I have learned that meditating and spirituality is a great way to counteract that. And this time of year you see very strong anxiety because so many people that I have known, this is an anniversary of them passing.
Right.
And I have had to deal with that. But I have, I would say that spirituality in most problems with being anxious, that you can turn to something a little stronger than just yourself. Slow down and take a second, that it really does help to deal with those feelings. Then there is good anxiety where you're looking forward to something. I mean, everything basically causes some kind of
Nerves.
emotional reaction.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's good anxiety and there's bad anxiety. It's kind of how do you react to it when it happens.
Okay. So we're on the same page then, huh?
I'll
Yeah.
just let you go on with your show. And by the way, it's a very good show.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. God bless. God bless. So it's interesting that both of our, you know, I appreciate the caller calling in and sharing her perspective. because I think that we agreed on one point that there's the good and the bad. There's the, and I would even say that there's the proficiency with the application and true utilization and mature use of the virtue anxiety. And then there's us being a novice with its utilization and use. You know? Our ignorance of it. So it really comes down to being conscious of it. And so that's why I wanted to, I've always done virtues. Since we've done this show since January of 2001, we've covered, I would say, of the 600 plus shows, we've covered at least 300 just virtues, shows just specifically about a virtue. And that's just how it is, because I think the number that I've found is there's 1,400. And so for each human being, the whole purpose in life for us is to acquire virtues. And we acquire virtues through living, through circumstances that we deal with, and every choice that we make, we get some fruit and some deposit of virtues from each act. Each act. So whether it's a pure deed, whether it's selfless, whether it's just utter effacement, the purer the deed, the more the virtue. And it's really getting it to a point where it's not only giving up our will to the Creator, but it's also, learning how to do that in a way that's consistent. And, it's tough. It's tough. There's so many things that we deal with, in the world that make it, that challenge us. And it's said that the purpose of life is to acquire virtues, and the one who acquires the most virtues is those who suffer the most. And so I know that we live in a society that teaches us, and our parents did it, and they teach us to avoid suffering, to avoid death and loss, and to avoid war, and to avoid, all these things that are part of our reality that we deal with. But the avoidance of them, and again, how can we? We can't. Every man shall experience the same. Every man and woman. We're going to experience the same thing. We're going to experience the same test. Now, we might not make every mistake. I mean, we don't have enough lives to make every mistake that people make. We're just faced with what I was saying earlier. Our main, goal in being here is to really do research and to understand and to do our best to get a PhD on ourselves. And so anxiety is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful gift, because what it does is it lets us know that something or someone has hijacked us. Anxiety lets us know that either we're doing something that we don't enjoy, we're doing something that we don't like and it's not following our heart, and we've ignored it for so long that now it's time to pay the piper. But even then, it's still giving warnings and saying, hey, guess what? Something is off. Stop. Kind of what the caller said with spirituality. Stop. Think. Ask the questions. Meditate. Process. Read a book. Do some research. Attend a workshop. Listen to me. Sometimes we turn it off. Where being conscious of it, we turn it off. Then we conform. We give in. We give up. We fold. We lose hope. get stuck, disenfranchised, and just we're not at a part of the pulse, not connected to the community. Our families don't really know who we are. We lose who we are. It's gone. And so anxiety is a tool to let us investigate our metaphysical reality, to let us investigate and know that based on mind, spirit, soul, and heart, something is not in tune with what it means to be a foundationally healthy and secure human being. And so it's a tool. And so once we listen and start listening to it, it lessens. And then when it comes again and we listen, it lessens. And when it comes again and we listen, it lessens. And when we come again and we listen and we process and we listen and we say, okay, anxiety, but it's also a couple other things. So it's anxiety, it's a little bit of depression, a little bit of this. Okay, let me look at the opposite of what I'm dealing with the anxiety, so that I can truly see what's the areas of growth available in my life right now. And then talk with friends, family, consult, look at the guidance, look at the scripture of whatever your walk, whatever your book, look whatever philosophy says. All the good things sent down from the heaven of His glory. And you get those things and you feed your soul. And when you start feeding, and then your life is laced with meaning. And then you're understanding and you're comprehending more. Then the anxiety turns into its true form. It's beautiful. Its form of beauty, which it turns into a thirst. It turns into an eagerness and a desire. And an overwhelming, it's almost like you can't really contain it, because it turns into love. It turns into a proficient use and exploitation of His grace, His mercy, His love. And you become eager. And it's normally connected with sharing the good news and sharing the gospel and teaching, and which really what it means to be a human being. I mean, we're like spirit. I mean, that's what we're created to know and love. We're created to know and love God, and to spread that message, whatever the message is of your walk. I mean, because ultimately the message of your walk, whatever your faith is, at the end of the day, based on your faith, each one of you, the prophecy in your religion said that there's going to be a promised one to come in the future. So each one of you are working towards the same goal. If you're actively teaching and being an advocate of your faith, if the news is really good, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever your faith is, as long as you profess and share that. And so how I serve the community, in this current capacity, is, my grandfather instilled, and my mom instilled some love. I had an anxiousness as a child when it came to reading. I mean, it's still voracious. I put books away. I'm a speed reader, so I flip through it. I eat them up. I eat books up for real. For real, I eat them up. I'll get a novel and be like, zip, zip, day, done, and retained. And I can never read the same book again. Only book I can read the same again is Scripture. It's retained. That's just me. I've been reading since age 3. And so my mom instilled the reading and that into me. But also they gave me the thirst, where her and my grandfather and my grandmother, embedded a love and appreciation of the word. You know, not just the red letters, but the gospel and the Pentateuch and the Torah. And you know, they had a good study of the actual books. That was something that was rare. And so being able, so that's just my perspective. And knowing that they was like, you know, they're sharing the good news, and there's something in the future that's going to be beautiful, and we're all waiting on it, and it's going to be revelation, it's going to be jubilee, it's going to be, you know, it's just going to be beauty, and so, you know, it's an honor to have went out into the community and you know, becoming an adult, and to go out and research and you know, research through all the different faiths available. And to be able to find, you know, just the reality of being able to look at all of the information that's available without barriers. And to be able to share it with you beautiful, wonderful souls. And that's it. And so, as a member of the Baha'i Faith, we believe that Baha'u'llah is the promised one of all faiths, ages, and religions. Through the lineage of Abraham, through his third wife, Keturah. Keturah had 5 sons and 1 daughter. And a lot of the Asian, one of the daughters of Midian, or one of the sons of Midian, through that lineage, married a Zoroastrian princess. So Zoroaster, the ancient Persian religion, and Abraham's seed connect, and also through Buddhism and through Confucius come through that same lineage. And so that's where the scriptures meet, and through Isaac and Ishmael, that's Christianity and Islam, all in the same family under the Abram, the father of many nations. All nations are named from the sons of Abraham. It's just how it is. And so through this process of this family, really, which is a story of the relationship between humanity and the Father, having custodians of the covenant, to having these beautiful divine revelators and educators to live and sacrifice their lives and blood on the earth so that we would never be without guidance. You know, the anointed one, Yahshua, Christ, Elijah, you know, his forerunner, John the Baptist. You know, the Bab, he sacrificed himself and thousands of his followers so that Baha'u'llah could actually have children walk the earth and be persecuted for over 40 years, but to still make sure that this life at the age of 75 died of old age with his family around him, and not from the sword, which is the way that we've killed all of our prophets. So, you know, I know there's a lot of anxiety for just in the world right now when we look at you know, the Middle East, and we look at the situations in our just our town and our household and our families, and we're trying to figure out how to continue to have hope. You know, what things build us up and not necessarily make us anxious and make us have anxiety, but what things give us that thirst and that desire and the want, the willingness to sacrifice, to serve, to build capacity in each other, to empower each other, you know, to sharpen each other, to love each other, to love one another, to live slower, you know, to be connected and to be worried about the age in which we live, and to try to do our best to contribute the things that we can. That's it. I'm going to perform a song for y'all. This song called Comet. Maybe y'all seen the little video. You can go to my website, tyreebyndom.com. Got a little website. I spent quite a little bit of time on there. Song's called Comet. Yeah. What's up, y'all? Colombians for modern efficient transit. Magnifying what my man said. Ideas flown and finally landed. We can't leave nobody stranded. They just trying to get from A to B. So we covered all the bases from A to Z. Thinking globally, implementing it locally. Hey, come on everybody, help me out. It's on everyone's mind, but no one opens mouth to share and care for the less fortunate. Heavy doses of MSG just to get our fortunes read. World beast sitting in the lap of luxury. Most of our luxuries are marketing, not necessities. Our focus should be on healing all the families. I think they are the meek surrounded by the Pharisees. Black and brown, bringing Asian world citizens. Let's make life more stable for our brethren. Earth angels so nicely tied to their reverence. My fucking field and blighted communities while we're giving the good of us diplomatic immunity. I have too much love in my heart about mutiny, but just as the man's not participating in the scrutiny, how can I conform to society when I got the feeling there's someone that's screwing me? For modern efficient transit, magnifying what my man said. Ideas flown and finally landed. We can't leave nobody stranded. They just trying to give them A to B. So we covered all the bases from A to Z. Thinking globally, implementing it locally. In my off like a boss, I got the email from Berna. You know how nothing but the true light sojourner said, comment from the show me how money on the table. To any organization that is competent and able to craft an endeavor that's aligned with the goals. You need a theme song, said Tyree from Copper to Gold. What are the top grant? Treating me with trust and fairness, and then act on initiatives and spread the awareness. Did presentation, petitions, and educated the governors. Guerrilla civil liberation, verbal houses of his skills like a southerner. Talking to reporters and wanting to Hank the Snake. You know, Tremedita. So use that, create some good press, stories, you know, etc. Was highly impressed by the World Street Park Neighborhood Association and revoked the Neighborhood Association in relation with concentration on health, fiscal literacy, and cultural competency, showing a path for unity, relieving the guard, elder and youth advocacy, Colombians. For modern efficient transit. Magnifying what my man said. Ideas flown and finally landed. We can't leave nobody stranded. They just trying to give them A to B. So we covered all the bases from A to Z. Thinking globally, implementing it locally. The call from Ian, you know, from overseas. The one that married Darwin's girl, he formed Petnet with a friend. You see, we need to come up with a strategy immediately. I said, we in chaos, living a pseudo on the path of true community. The million of one. Lord, I know you wish you had two of me. Spawn into a swarm and the force of darkness be pursuing me. So the 3-year plan is the triple the bus ridership. This came from the voice of the people, not the poverty pimping leadership. Repping the hood and forging core alliances with a potentially global example. Princess timing of our finest tests. Injustices coming in all shapes and sizes. Advertising of the mind, even an attack when I expose my breast. Princes I miss, seem warmer to gain their crowns. So many keep it in kind in pockets, came in and around the downtown. But we need y'all to ride anyway. We gain the mic to change the policy. Kind of story how you like to ride the bus. Kind of resistance, so in God we trust. For modern efficient transit. Magnifying what my man said. Ideas flown and finally landed. We can't leave nobody stranded. They just trying to give from A to B. So we covered all the bases from A to Z. Thinking globally, implementing it locally. That's how every city's supposed to be. Yeah. That was a beautiful song, Good project. My dude P Creative out of Kansas City. Here in Missouri did that video, so it was a good, beautiful process. Good dude. Got like 2 or 3 videos actually I'm working on now. Got a mixtape coming out on January 1st. You know what I mean? And also got a manuscript that I am in the process of writing, and it's called Thugs of Paladins, and it's a manuscript that I'm working with right now. It's a good project. It's going to be part of a mixtape project as well, so it's going to be good. Working on that diligently. So if you don't see me a lot, if I'm not out and about, if I'm not at the club, if I'm not, you know, that's just worldly, man. That's just not me. You know me? So that's just not me. But I come out. I'll step it out if I get an invite. And y'all can stop shooting. I got too many kids to mess around with y'all. Hey, but again, I shared some information earlier. This has been a beautiful week, not without trials and tests. And next week, I know a lot of us, I'm telling you right now, I did a series of shows in 2009, August, June, July, August 2009, right before the economy basically popped, the subprime process. And I pegged it. I just looked at statistics. I look at a lot of numbers. I pay attention to, what a lot of people are saying. I interview just a lot of people, man. So just this last 3 months, I've talked to at least 10,000 people, ultimately about the economy, about job creation, about hiring just candidates. So that's just what I do. And, right now, with the presidency, congratulations to President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and the process that they got going forward as the Commander-in-Chief and the President of the United States. It would do a lot of us well, no matter who you voted for, that now that the country has chosen our direction to be loyal and to be active and to go to the White House website and look at the information and to be a part of the process. Justice demands universal participation. It demands it. And so if you are at a point in your life that you're not a part of the collective process that humanity is going in right now. Because right now, as an individual, I can grind, I can do it, I can do I can take care of my family, but as far as a community, as far as the globe, as far as my species, collectivity, I cannot do alone. We need each other. We need each other. It's time for us to look past otherness, conflict, contention, war. It's only one man. Baha'u'llah says this. He says, the earth is but one country, and mankind is citizens. One fold, one shepherd. That process is happening now. Feel free to look at the claim of Baha'u'llah and to look and see some of the things that the Baha'i community is doing. As an example, worldwide, the 7 million Baha'is worldwide that have unity in their midst and are doing some great things in social and economic development in many communities. And a lot of these things that I've learned from the global community is going to be implemented here locally. So get at your boy. Stay close to me. Right now, we're about to do some good things. It's different doing stuff when you don't have a budget. Once you have a budget, you're able to do different things. And so this is a good time for this community right now, and for right now in the world as what we're trying to accomplish in Generation Text. There's some beauty that's happening right now. So if you're not a part of that process, it's probably because you have anxiety, angst, worry, concern, and you're detached for some reason. So I shared, hopefully you got some of the things I shared in the show, to be able to take that, to get that thirst, to use those lessons that we deal with in life, to listen to anxiety, to listen to your emotions, to listen and process it, to get a good dose of, to make sure you're drinking water. You're doing all the basic things that are basic hygiene to be a healthy human being, to not smoke crack, and to not, do certain things, and to step away. To ultimately not turn our back from our Creator. That's ultimately what happens when we take our will back. But to continue to try, to give up your will, to continue to try to be a part of the collective process. Each one of you, a beautiful human being, beautiful soul. There's nobody else like you. You're needed. Your point is valid. Your life has purpose and meaning, beauty. Everybody, just